Hi, my name is Marco from Greyp's team, and in this video I will walk you through some of the basic steps that you will need to go through to set up your bike's connectivity, mobile phone's hotspot, and also we will go through the software update process that you will need to go through to maintain your bike so it could improve diagnostics and keep up with our newest releases. I'm sure you know that our bike is all about connectivity. It is always connected to the internet at all time. There are two different ways that the internet connection is established, and I would like to walk you through both of them so you can know which one is being used for what. So the first way is the connection through the embedded SIM card. It is integrated into your bike, and every time the bike is turned on, it connects to the eSIM. After it connects to the eSIM card, it has connection to our Greyp cloud environment, which is used so the bike could send logs from the bike to our environment, so in any case of issues we can examine them. Also, it is used for the remote mode in your application. When you are away from your bike, the connection to the internet is established through the embedded SIM card, and you can see where it's located, send a text to it, take an image. The second way to establish connections is via your mobile phone. You need to configure the hotspot on your mobile phone so the bike could use internet from your mobile phone SIM card to establish connection. It is also important because without the hotspot configuration, you will not be able to use dashboard mode. The hotspot mode is very important because you will need to establish connection to your mobile phone hotspot to perform a software update process that I have talked about earlier. Let's walk through that process so you could see all the steps needed. First, we'll go through the Android setup. So you need to go to Settings, then go to the Connections, Mobile Hotspot and Tethering, and there you need to turn on the mobile hotspot. In the settings, you will need to use the default credentials. In case you have already configured the hotspot on your phone and used it to access the dashboard mode in the application, you can use the credentials that you have set up earlier. In case you haven't, please use the default credentials that you can see on the screen. That will be all for the Android device, and after this, your bike should connect to your mobile phone. For those of you who have iPhones and use iOS, the configuration is similar but has some differences. You also go to Settings. After that, you'll need to change the name of your phone, as that is the name of your personal hotspot. So you go to General, About, and change the name to the one you have set on the bike, or default one, which is ESW Hotspot. Then you go all the way back to the settings and go to the personal hotspot. You turn on the Allow Others to Join option and set the password to the default one we talked about earlier. Now that we have gone through the connectivity and hotspot configuration, let us go through software update process. There are some things that you'll need even before starting the process. Your mobile phone with the hotspot configured as I mentioned earlier. Your bike's battery should not be above 90%, and you'll also need the charger of the bike. Very important thing is to have at least 300 megabytes of available mobile data on your phone, because that data will be used to download the software update file from our cloud environment. You have all you need for your software update process: your mobile phone, your bike's battery below 90%, and your charger. But how can you be sure that your bike has connected to the hotspot you have configured? The way to do that is to enter the info screen you can see on the bike's display. To access the info screen, you'll need to press the exact middle of the FN button, and while still holding that middle of the FN, press the middle of the joystick, and then you'll enter the info screen. Once you have entered the info screen, there are several information there, but the ones that we'll need are the following: Greyp cloud connection, which needs to be connected. eSIM connection status needs to be disconnected. Wi-Fi connection status needs to be connected to the name of the hotspot on your phone, the default one or the one you have configured with your name and your password. And the last information, Wi-Fi connection type needs to be client. In case your Wi-Fi connection type is not client but hotspot, please contact Greyp's support. When you're sure and you have checked all the settings in the info screen and you can confirm that connection statuses are as I have mentioned, then you can proceed with the software update process. You can then go to the next step and plug in the charger into the bike. Once you have plugged in the charger, the display will show it. You will see this notification and which percentage of the battery is currently available. After that, you can proceed and start the software update process. You do that by pressing the combination of buttons, middle of the FN button plus retro button. It is the one just above the joystick. At that moment on the info screen, you'll be able to see that the software update has started. The second step in the process is fetching file. In that step, the bike is downloading the software update file from the internet. And this step can take around 5 minutes, and it is the longer step in the process. Step 4 of the process is flashing. In this step, the new file is being installed onto one of the partitions of the bike. Now you can see the final step of the software update process, the successful notification. At this point, the process has ended, and all you need to do is press any button to reboot the bike. After the bike reboots, you will be able to see on the info screen that it has the newest software version installed. During the software update process, you may encounter some errors. We'll show you what they can be and how to proceed when you get them. So sometimes in the step 1, you get an error unable to start. What you need to do is turn the bike off, turn it back on. Once again on the info screen, check all the connections to make sure that everything is as it should be, and once again start the software process from the beginning. There are also some other errors. We have a step 2 error saying no Wi-Fi connection. This means that your bike has not connected to the hotspot on your mobile phone. You'll need to check that out, make sure that there are no typing errors and everything is correctly set so your bike could connect. Step 3, fetching file error, occurs when you don't have enough mobile data to download the file from our environment. So you'll need to check your SIM card to make sure that you'll have enough mobile data to download the file. We have the step 4 flashing error. This is the probably most common error. It happens while the new file is being installed onto the bike. The cure for this is to once again turn off the bike, turn it back on, check all the connectivity on the info screen, and start the process all over again. There's also a step 5 flashing error. It's pretty much the same as in the step 4. You'll need to turn the bike off, turn it back on, check the connection statuses, and start the process all over again. So in almost I would say if you get an error in any step, just turn the bike off, turn it back on, check the connection statuses, check your mobile hotspot, mobile data, and start the process from the beginning. In case you haven't previously used the application and you haven't paired with the bike, let me walk you through that process so you could complete it with ease. You'll need to create a new account. You type in your name, last name, all the required information. Once you have created your account, the application will prompt you to allow some things for it to use. The important thing is to set it all as agree or allow. Now we need to pair the bike to your account. You can enter the QR code by going to info screen and then pressing the joystick to the right. In the application, you will be prompted to the screen which will ask you to pair the bike. You just press pair bike, start scanning QR code, and scan the QR code which is on the display. Wait a couple of seconds and your bike will be paired to your account. Once you have paired with your bike, you will be prompted to the bike network setup. Here you'll need to type in under the SSID the same name as you have put on your mobile phone for the hotspot name. Under password, the same password you have typed in on your mobile phone. After that, you will be entering remote mode in the application. Here you will be able to see your bike's location and also some other features like text to the bike, acquire a photo, lock the bike. In case you see somebody's moving it and you don't want him to use it, you can lock it and turn it off. To enter the dashboard mode, your bike must be connected to your mobile phone's hotspot. Also, in the top right corner of the application, you'll see the connection status. If it's still spinning, that means that the connection hasn't been established for you to be able to enter the dashboard mode. If you see it not spinning with three little waves, then you can turn your phone to landscape and you will enter the dashboard mode of the application. Here it will sometimes ask you for you to allow like camera to be used or Bluetooth and other features. You'll need to say OK, because if you don't approve it, the application won't work as expected. So press OK and allow. Now we are in navigation mode, and here you can go to this search button and type in the location where you want to go. Once you typed it in and selected it, the phone will give you the best route to your location. Also, by shifting the joystick up, it will change the mode to satellite. So you won't just see lines and roads, you will be able to see the whole satellite view. From the navigation mode, you can go to potato mode. This mode gives you information about how far you can go depending on the battery level you currently have and the assistance level you're using. If you increase your assistance level, it will automatically recalculate the information and tell you how far can you go now. This will constantly recalculate and give you the information. The next mode we have is ride session. Here you can see some detail about your session, like how long was your trip, maximum speed, all kinds of data that you want to see if you will improve on your next ride or compare your progress. The next mode is camera. As you might know, the bike has two cameras, one in the front and one in the rear. When you're in camera mode, you can switch the camera from front to rear by pressing the joystick button up or down. And to start recording, you just press the middle of the joystick button. When you want your video to end, you just again press the middle and it ends. It saves automatically to your phone, and you can see it there. The last feature we have is fitness mode, and it will ask you to use Bluetooth, and you just press allow. This mode is connected to the HR monitor that you were given when you bought the bike. You can adjust your heart rate from, for example, 100 to 130. While you're in that range, the bike will give you some level of assistance. When your heart rate is above that range, it will increase the assistance, so your heart could beat slower and get back to that desired range. The same is when your heart rates go down, it will lower the assistance, so you could try harder and increase your heart rate to that desired range. These 5 features that we go through are all 5 features that we currently have on our Android phone.